Good morning, everyone. This is Jeana, Art of Skincare. We're going to get started here. And I have Lauren with me today. Many of you know Lauren. She's my lead esthetician, my right-hand person at Art of Skincare. And she volunteered to be my assistant today on the table. She has never had a microneedling treatment, and so she wants to know, what does it feel like? So I told her when we did this video that she could be she could be the patient for me. So today we're going to talk about microneedling, why we microneedle, when to microneedle. This video will be really good for anyone who's an esthetician. This is a professional treatment that you can do in your treatment room, and this is also a treatment that you can do on yourself at home. I actually prefer to needle on myself. I can take the prickling easier when I'm doing it to myself, and I can be a little more aggressive when it's being done on me. I just want to hit people, kind of swipe them away. So we'll see how Lauren does with it. We're going to be using AnteAge products today. AnteAge is a very well-known, established stem cell company, and they really specialize in microneedling treatments. So that's what we're going to be using today. I'm going to be talking about some different things, but I want to get her skin clean really quick, and then we'll talk about what I'm doing because I need to get an enzyme on her. And I want that enzyme to be on for a little while before we remove it. So normally the enzyme needs to stay on for 10 to 20 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. 20 would be a bit long. So 10 to 15 minutes normally. We won't have that much time today with doing our video, but I would like to get it on there for at least 5 minutes. So first of all, though, I'm going to get some cleanse going. I'm going to be using the AnteAge cleanser. I'm going to fill up my water bowl here with some nice hot water. So I'm using the AnteAge cleanser today. Now, there are a number of different things. Well, let's back up a little bit. The reason why we do microneedling is to induce collagen. It's actually called, in the professional world, we call it collagen induction therapy. And so what microneedling does is it stimulates that collagen production in the skin. So there are a number of different things that contribute to a loss of collagen. And when the loss of collagen gets severe, it's probably the hardest thing for us estheticians to work with, and probably the most frustrating for those of you at home to deal with in your own skin. So when we see a lot of loss of collagen, damaged collagen, the skin begins to get thin. It'll get oftentimes a really rough texture, and then it begins to get thin. And a lot of times people think as that skin's thinning that they're losing their firmness, and they are losing some firmness, but the main thing is the collagen damage that's happening. That skin is thinning because of a thinning collagen layer. So what we want to do is address those things that cause collagen loss. And then we want to find those things that help reverse that collagen loss. So over the last few weeks, you've heard me talking about my own skincare routine, and you've heard me talk about some different things that help reverse collagen loss. So I'm using the Emapel products, which have that MEP in there that goes after that menopausal collagen loss that happens. You've heard me talk about using vitamin C. Vitamin C is excellent for correcting collagen damage. And antioxidants are also really helpful. So two main things that cause collagen loss. One is aging and the change in our hormones. The other one is environmental damage. So we're going to start by going after oxidation. So environmental damage to the collagen happens from pollution, sun exposure, all of that, environmental stressors. And so what I'm going to use to start our treatment today is from AnteAge. This is their cleanser. Simple name to remember, AnteAge cleanser. But what I love about it is it has blue lotus in it, willow bark in it, and it has zeolite in it. So that combination of really strong antioxidants combined with that zeolite, it really detoxifies the skin and helps pull heavy metals, pollution out of the skin. It's going to help neutralize free radicals. And so it's an excellent way to cleanse your skin every day. It's a light, really nice cleanser. So you guys can see it's a light color. I'm going to foam it up in my hands first. This is the Jeana cleansing method, right? Dry hands, dry skin. And now I'm just going to apply it to Lauren's skin. Now, Lauren has a lot of collagen. She can do collagen induction therapy just to keep her collagen levels healthy. She'll be 30 coming up when? April? In April. So this is a good treatment for her. Also, in your 20s, and that's what she's in her 20s now, especially your mid to late 20s, you start to lose your natural antioxidant protection. So this is a really good cleanser for her because it's going to boost her antioxidant protection. She feels like she gets some little sebaceous filaments or little darkness in her pores. And so the zeolite in this cleanser is going to go after that little darkness in the pores, neutralize the change in the oil color. So now I'm just adding water to my cleansing.
I like this cleanser.
You like it? Does it smell good?
It does. It doesn't really have a fragrance, which is kind of nice. It's a very low, mild scent. It just smells fresh.
It smells very fresh, and it actually used to have quite a lot of fragrance. So if you ever tried this 3 or 4 years ago, it had a rather strong earthy scent. Kind of reminded me more of a cleanser that men would like. But they have since taken that out of it. So it's much more neutral. And I think it's better for those with sensitive skin or those sensitive to fragrance, or even if it's a natural fragrance, sometimes a fragrance can be annoying. So we're doing a full 2-minute cleanse. So doing a full 2-minute cleanse means that we are going to rehydrate the skin. We're going to break that skin barrier so that the water can get through. We are also going to see the zeolite and the antioxidants do their work and really get down in those pores and neutralize the free radicals, prevent that oxidation in the pores that tends to cause them to turn brown, the oil to turn brown. It oxidizes. Back up for you and make that clearer. So when that oil builds up in the pores, and if it's your skin's getting dehydrated and dry and the oil's not able to move through fast enough, which is what's happening for Lauren right now. She's just a little bit dehydrated. When that oil gets stuck there, it oxidizes. Some people think that's blackheads. That's not actually blackheads. It's just that your natural oil is getting a bit stuck and it's oxidizing. So using a nice antioxidant cleanser with the zeolite in it is really going to help to neutralize that. So we're not seeing that oxidation happening. And because this cleanser is so gentle, we're not going to over dry her skin. It's really going to cleanse her skin well, but it's going to open her skin up and allow a lot of water to get in her skin. So we're rehydrating her skin as we go, and her skin is just sucking it up. That's great. All right, so I want to get this enzyme on her face. So let's get the cleanser off. Grabbing a warm towel. How's that temperature?
Perfect.
Was it lovely? Mm-hmm. Love hot towels. Now I'm going to let this steam penetrate with that cleanser a bit, and that's going to add extra humidity into her skin too. So her skin is just going to be nice and baby soft. Now, when you're doing a microneedling treatment, you want to prep the skin really well so that the serums that you're needling in can get down into the skin. So I always do a good cleanse, and then I use an enzyme. So the next thing we're going to be using is Regenezyme from AnteAge. Enzymes digest away that top layer of dull, dry skin so that the other serums and things that we put on can penetrate better. So with a microneedling treatment, whether you're doing it at home or doing it in the treatment room, to use a gentle enzyme beforehand can be very helpful. We are also going to be doing a little bit of microcurrent today. We're going to be using the Rejuve setting on the Tri-Wave. We're going to do that after the needling because that's going to boost her ATP levels, which boost healing and boost collagen production. It's also going to help drive these serums that we're needling into her skin.
Sorry, I wear mascara.
It's already off. I got it.
It's the Lily Lola mascara.
It came off nice and easy.
I love it so much.
This cleanser works well too for removing cleanser from the skin. All right, make sure I have it all off. Feel any slipperiness. All righty, let's grab our enzyme. So we've got Regenezyme today. So Regenezyme has pumpkin, papaya, pineapple, and fig enzymes. It's a really nice, gentle enzyme, but very effective. I love putting this on the back of my hands because it totally transforms dry hands, and it's great. So we're going to put some of this into a bowl. Got a nice color to it. Now with enzymes, if you have a true enzyme, it has to stay damp on the skin in order to stay active. An enzyme, once it is dry, it's not working anymore. It's lost its activity. So we're going to make sure and keep this enzyme on her skin moist. There's a few ways that you can do that. I'll show you what we're going to do. One way is that you could just keep dampening your fingers and massaging. How's it feel, Lauren? Does it feel tingly?
No, not really.
No tingle?
I could feel like a whisper of what could be a tingle, but no, it's very, very mild.
Okay, great.
It just feels creamy and cool.
Yeah.
If anything, I notice a little bit more along my neck.
On your neckline. I did put it a little thicker right there, so that would explain that too. Now this is going to be fun with Lauren too, because she's one of those people that turns bright red. All you have to do is wash her face and she turns red. So we'll probably see her get a bit pink with her enzyme. I'm going to get up closer to the lips just because it's nice to get that lip area. Now I'm going to work it in just a little bit with my fingers. Make sure I have it evenly applied. I don't want to get it inside the nasal flares. That would not feel good. Avoid that. It's nice and moist and slippery. We're getting that nose because that's her main concern for today was some sebaceous filaments, that little bit of oxidation around her nose. So the enzymes are also great for cleaning the pores. The enzymes just go in there and digest away the dead skin cells that collect in the pores. All right, now I'm going to take a couple of clean skin. This was a Clean Skin Club cloth. It was actually a full size. I cut it in half because I wanted to use it for this treatment. So now I'm getting it wet. It's going to have that moisture. And we're going to put one across the lower part of the face. Stretch it a bit. And one across the upper part of the face and the nose. How are we feeling? Are we still barely feeling it, or is it getting tingly?
I say from 1 to 5, 1 being like water, 5 being like hot chili flakes.
Okay.
I'm at like 1 to 2.
1 to 2. So she, in case you guys couldn't hear that with her mouth covered, we did a scale of 1 to 5. Where does it feel on that stingly, tingly on this, 5 being hot chili peppers and 1 barely feeling it. She's right around in that 1-2 area. So that's good. 3 or 4 would even be okay with me. I just don't want her up at that high 5 range. And, you know, if you have more sensitive skin, you can tell by the feel of it. If it just starts to feel more aggravating, then don't leave it on as long. Take it off sooner. Don't activate it with a warm towel like I'm going to do if you are feeling spicy. So I'm checking with her before I put the towel on, because if she's already feeling spicy, I don't want to add that hot steaminess to it. So we'll activate it more. Temperature's good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now what I want to do is I just want to leave this on her face until the towel cools off. And we can make it stay warm longer by applying a dry towel over the top. That'll help hold in some of that heat. You still good in there?
Mm-hmm.
She's still good. Great. So while we have her cooking away in there, we're going to talk about some of the things that we'll be using today. So we're using from AnteAge. I want to use the microneedling stamp. It comes in a box and it comes all sealed like this. So you know it's nice and sanitary, well sterilized. Get that started. You can see it comes here. It has this nice little cap on it. The cap comes off and there's a little teeny tiny needles on this little stamp pad. And that's what we're going to be using today. Now, this is my preference because I find that when you're rolling, sometimes you can make little tears in the skin. I really like the stamp because it's much more direct and more controlled, and I don't get that tearing that I get with a roller. Let's see. We have, for choices from AnteAge, we have a number of choices of things that you can use for home microneedling. What I'm going to be using today is their regular home microneedling solution. This is $100. It's excellent. It's got great stem cells in it. It has some hyaluronic acid in it. And there are other choices, though. If you want to work on brightening your skin and you have some hyperpigmentation, you could choose the brightening microchanneling solution. This has a different selection of peptides in it that are especially for brightening the skin. Also, what's the other ingredient? Mine's going blank on that other ingredient in there. There's an antioxidant in there as well. Sorry about that. It'll probably come back to me. I can look on the back of the box to remind myself about it. Glucosamine. So it's also got glucosamine in it. Then we have a clearing microneedling solution. The clearing solution has the same stem cells, but then it has a different selection of extra peptides that are good for healing and clearing the skin and reducing inflammation. Then we have the anti-aging. And so this one, again, has the hyaluronic acid, has the bone marrow stem cell conditioned media, and then it has specific peptides, the TGFB, BFGF. And so it's got these different polypeptides in there that are really good for firming and rejuvenating the skin. Lauren, she's not even quite 30 yet. She really doesn't need any of those 3. So we're going to use, and those are $125 each. So we're going to go ahead and choose the straight up stem cell conditioned media that's in this container, just the home microneedling system. And this one is our most popular. So when you open it up, you can see you have 5 little ampules. You'll use 1 for each time you do a treatment. That's how long your stamp lasts. When you use up these 5, you need to buy a new set of solution bottles, and then you also need to buy a new microneedling stamp. So we do have the MTS microneedling roller that you could probably go through 2, use 2 boxes and use that roller. It's going to last longer. The needles, just a higher quality. They stay sharp longer. They're great. And if you like rolling, it works great. You can use that. If you're going to be using the stamp, that's when you want to be sure and replace it every time you use up your solution. Now, there's a big question or a big misconception about microneedling. A lot of people want to do it daily or 2 or 3 times a week. They have the idea that I want to use these needles to drive product into my skin. That's not a great practice. We used to do that maybe 10, 15 years ago. We're not doing that anymore. When you do microneedling, you want to do it once every 5 weeks or so. You want to give your skin time to rebound and repair before you attack it again. Because anytime you go after it and you're attacking it with these needles, you're causing these little abrasions in the skin. And that's what's stimulating that collagen production. It's also driving ingredients in. But we don't want to continually be abrading the skin that way. We only want to do that once every 5 weeks. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that, because I get that question a lot. And when I'm doing consultations with people and they tell me, oh, I'm microneedling, and they'll often tell us, don't they, Lauren, that they're doing it 2 or 3 times a week. And we have to say, no. We do have, there is a kind of device out there that many estheticians now have, and that we are working on getting one for you guys to have at home. And that is a nano microneedling type device that does not have needles. It actually has little silicone shaped needles, and it does an amazing job of pushing the serums in, but it does not break the skin. And that is something that you can use more often. So we're working on getting that for you guys. But in the meantime, just do your microneedling once every 5 weeks. Okay. She's still nice and warm, actually, but I don't want to wait any longer. We got to get going. So one thing about this enzyme, if you wrap with towels, it does stain the towels a little bit with that pumpkin that's in there. That's why it can be nice to lay on your gauze pads on top and then put the towel over it. You could also include with saran wrap and then wrap with a towel. I like doing the damp cloth like I did for Lauren when somebody is really dehydrated, because we are really pushing a lot of nice moisture down into the skin. How's your skin feel?
Amazing.
Good. Nothing got over a 2 or 3?
No.
Good.
And I don't use actives very often.
Okay.
Either. So
that's right. You told me you're using Elixir.
Mm-hmm.
Sorella Apothecary, she's using the Elixir, which is a retinaldehyde serum, which is an alternative to full strength retinol.
Mm-hmm.
And she took a 5-day break. Was that right?
Correct.
5-day break before she came today. So she doesn't get any reaction in her skin. She's just really ready to do it. How's the neck feeling now?
Great.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I feel like Regenezyme would be great for someone with sensitive skin.
It is excellent. What Lauren just said is it's great for people with sensitive skin, this enzyme, and it really is. It's a nice, gentle enzyme. Doesn't get too hot or spacey.
It's
a pure enzyme. There's no acids mixed into it. A lot of Rhonda Allison's enzymes, which we all love too, but a lot of those have acids in them. So it's more of an acid exfoliation than a true enzyme exfoliation. Many of you now have the Botnia enzymes. That's a true enzyme. Neogenesis enzyme. That's a true enzyme without acid in it. And then Rhonda Allison's Dermazyme. That one is excellent for sensitive skin, and it is also just a straight up enzyme with no acids in it. Okay, so I'm going to just check her skin. I would just want to make sure it doesn't feel slippery or slimy. Enzymes will leave a slime coat on the skin if you don't get them all off. And I want to make sure I have them all off of her skin. And I do. Feels good. Okay, now we get to start doing the fun part. Are you nervous?
I'm a bit nervous.
She's a little nervous. So for me, microneedling my forehead is the most sensitive area. So I never start there on myself, and I'm not going to start there with Lauren, because what we want to do is start down lower where we're not as sensitive and work up to that area, because then your endorphins start to flow, and our endorphins help us to handle things that feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to do one section at a time. We'll start out here where you guys can see. Make sure I keep my hands out of the way. I have a little bottle here of the microneedling solution, and it has a little ball on the top. So as I roll it onto her skin, the skin will start to become wet. I only want to be needling while that skin is wet. So that's why I'm going to do one section at a time. Otherwise, the solution will dry before I get to it. So I'm getting it nice and wet here. And there's plenty in this bottle. If you don't keep the skin plenty wet, you won't use it all up. So here we go. I'm going to grab my stamp. I'm throwing things around. It threw the lid on the floor, which is okay. And now I'm going to use a stamping motion straight down on her skin. I'm just going to go in some even lines as she's getting used to it. How's that feel, Lauren?
Not bad, actually.
Not bad, she says. She's been pre-warned by other people who've been on film with me with this particular treatment that as she gets more and more used to it, I'm going to be probably a little more aggressive with her. And but I'm not going to overdo it to where she's crying or anything. We'll make sure that's not happening. My goal is to pink the skin up. And, you know, if she had a lot of lines around her mouth area, I would spend more time just on that little area. See if we can see there. Let's pretend she has lines around her lips. This girl has no lines anywhere. Then I could go even in the same spot. It's just this up and down kind of bouncing off of the skin. How does that pressure feel?
It feels okay.
It feels fine?
Mm-hmm. Don't get carried away.
She's like, don't get carried away. Now I'm going a little bit harder. Is that still okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's really not as bad, is it? Is what you thought it might be.
No. I thought, like, you know, little tattoo shading feels.
No, it's nothing like getting a tattoo, which is nice. If you've had a tattoo, then you're going to be fine with this. So we've got this section and it's pretty much dry. So I'm going to move over to the other side. I'm going to add my solution on this side.
Now I know with the roller, sometimes we can get little pinpricks of blood. Should you expect that with stamping?
You can get that with stamping. I get that when I do stamping on myself because I can be a lot more aggressive on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going a little harder on this side now that she's getting used to it. How's the pressure now?
Mm-hmm, it's okay.
It's okay. You're not going to hit me?
No.
Okay. And we're still not getting any little pinpricks of blood. But her skin is pinking up really nicely. So when you answer that question that many of you will have, how many times do you go over the same spot? You could go over the same spot multiple times. And I can't tell you exactly how many because you're going to keep doing it till the skin pinks up nicely. Once that skin pinks up nicely, then you're going to move on to the next spot and you want to have an even pinkness all over your entire face. So now I'm going to get more into her upper cheek area and her little crow's feet area. And the crow's feet area is an area where many of us can get a little more aggressive. We have more collagen loss in this area. The sun hits on that area, and that's why we see those crow's feet forming. So we can be a little more aggressive in that area. How's this pressure, Lauren?
It's good.
Great. Now, what you'll find when you're doing this is that the areas where you have more padding, it doesn't hurt as much. You can be more aggressive. When you get out to where there's just bone, and that's why it's so uncomfortable on the forehead, it's when you hit those bony areas, that's when it hurts more. You just feel it more. Now, when I roll with a roller on my forehead, I can hardly stand it. I'm just like, oh, as it rolls over my skin. But when I use this stamp, I don't have as much problem. And part of that is because when you get to the forehead, you don't have to keep going across like this, but you could actually stay in one spot for a little bit, work that spot, and then move over a little bit and do the next spot. So I'm doing like 5 or 6 presses on her forehead. Now, if she had a lot of sun damage up here, I might do more. How is it on your forehead, Lauren?
It feels annoying.
Annoying. It is so annoying, and I know it is. But if I were doing this on my husband, for example, right now, he has a lot of sun damage on his forehead. The texture here is very rough, and he has very deep expression lines on his forehead. So I would be more aggressive with him. And you might even see a few little blood spots pop up if he didn't punch me first and make me quit doing it.
It's really not that bad. But
Good.
You're right that it is the most like
This is
apparent.
the most sensitive area.
Mm-hmm.
Let's turn this way.
The roller ball feels nice.
Good. No stinging from the solution. Mm-hmm. Good. Do you have an 11? Do you get 11s?
I don't, but I do have this little like bulb right here.
She gets more that line that goes across the nose here. Mm-hmm. I get that one too. I get both, but the line more there. So I'm going to get in there and get that little line for her a little bit. I rolled it right into your eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I turned it sideways so I have enough. Let's turn you this way. There we go. So I have enough room between there. And just doing some pats on that spot. The top of the head the top of the nose can also be a very sensitive area, but it's also an area that gets a lot of collagen damage. As we age, we can see that skin really start to thin out on top of the nose. So I'm going to hit that top of her nose. How's that, Lauren?
It feels good.
Good. I think she's pleasantly surprised. And everybody says that. Everyone says, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not like going and getting a acupuncture treatment to the face. These needles don't go in that far, and they're so fine. They're just baby fine. All right, we got to get this cheekbone. We didn't do this side on the top yet. Now, the first time you do this, you might just go over your face once, like I'm doing with Lauren, and get used to it. As you get more used to it, you'll find that you're more tolerant of the needles and you can be more aggressive. So we could go over her face, everything that we just did 2 or 3 times. How's that feeling, Lauren?
It's okay.
I'm being a little more aggressive on her. I'm doing more of that bounce, letting it go down and bounce back up. She's like, ooh, it's not so nice to do. Doing it on yourself is way easier. I tell you guys, microneedling is best done on your own. Now, microneedling is going to help re-densify her skin, help produce more healthy collagen. This level of microneedling is not going to do a whole lot for scarring. If you have a lot of acne scarring, this is not a size needle that is going to go after deep divots in the skin. Now, if you have the kind of scarring where you just have a leftover dark spot, and not so much of the ice pick scars, this is excellent for that. And that's when you want to use the clear skin. Here you go, the clarifying. Use that clarifying, and this will really help with that hyperpigmentation that you get, post-inflammatory pigmentation. She's starting to scrunch her eyes together. Like, Jeana's not being as nice.
You're lucky
my
I love
kids,
you.
My kids teased her yesterday. They said, well, good thing she's not mad at you. They know that when they were in high school and I was in the treatment room a lot, when they came in, if I was mad at them, I loved to wax them or do extractions on them when I was mad at them. And they'd be like, no way, Mom. It was my favorite way to torture them. I think I have a mean streak in there. So I'm just doing a light second round, making sure that I've done it evenly. Go ahead, Lauren, and turn your lips in like this. A lot of us have lines on our upper lip. Lauren doesn't have any, but she's going to show us. This is also a really sensitive area, so I'm not going to be as aggressive. But even though I'm not as aggressive, you can see the tension on her face. It's like, oh, no. So you will be able to do this much better on yourself at home. I'm really using very light pressure. She's like, get out of here.
I'm trying to like fall into the table. It's really not that bad.
And you can see, I barely used a quarter of my bottle. So you can see, you want to use a whole bottle on a treatment. So you can keep going with this treatment. Just keep adding solution, go to work on those little problem areas. You could take it down into the neck area. I'm not going to do too much on her neck because she'll hate me. I think it's just best to do on yourself. And then, of course, I do my chest. I spend a lot of time on my chest because I'm getting those longer lines here, and I get some hyperpigmentation in this area. So I really like that brightening solution. Show you that. It's like, Jeana, pay attention to what you're doing. The brightening solution is excellent wherever you have hyperpigmentation.
I don't like that part.
The chest, she's not liking the chest, and her chest is beautiful. Now, this stamp is only for one person. So I'm going to send it home with her along with her leftover vial of solution. And so she can play with this at home and see what she likes to do. I think we've got her good and irritated with me for today.
Am I pink to your satisfaction?
You're nice and pink. Yeah, see how nice and rosy she is? She's nice and pinked up. No little blood spots. Is pretty gentle with her. So, but we did still get a good treatment, and we're still going to get good collagen induction. You don't have to see little bloody spots in order for the treatment to work. Now, if I'll come and do this, we have more of these solutions. I'll come and do it on myself in one of our future things. And I'll show you, because I can be more aggressive on myself, and we'll see if I get a few little bloody pricks. Usually that will happen around where your bony areas are. So where your cheekbones are, that's where you'll tend to get, or your forehead, you'll tend to get maybe a little bit of a blood draw there. So now what we want to do after you do your microneedling, you want to push these ingredients into the skin. While I'm talking, I'm going to keep putting solution on her. I want to push these good ingredients in her skin, and I want to push hyaluronic acid into the skin. Hyaluronic acid is naturally found in the skin, so it's an agreeable ingredient to push into the skin. Now, with you guys, when you're doing microneedling at home, I'm going to tell you, don't microneedle in things that have fragrance, flower essences, things that your body doesn't know what to do with, are not normally found in your body. You want to be using your stem cells, hyaluronic acid, and very, very gentle, inert. Anything else that might be in there, maybe a little bit of glycerin is okay, but you really want to have pureness. When you're needling something into your skin, you want purity. So what I'm following up with, I've got this well worked in. Now I've grabbed Bion's Pure Hydration. And I love this serum because it is our most pure, just plain hyaluronic acid, so your body knows what to do with it serum. So I'm going to put some of that on, and then what we're going to do is use the Tri-Wave. So you guys can see it. We're going to use the Tri-Wave. We're going to use it on the Rejuve setting. Rejuve is that setting that detoxifies the skin as well as stimulates rejuvenation. It's going to increase ATP in the skin. It's going to increase collagen, and it's going to strengthen the elastin in the skin. So we want to do a little bit of microcurrent after we do our needling to boost that ATP and to further drive in all this good stuff that we've been needling into the skin. But of course, to do microneedling, we need to have something with some slip. So we're going to try out this Bion Pure Hydration on Lauren's skin. Oops,
Ooh,
I
nice.
flung some on you. Nice and cool. Any stingling?
No.
Good, good.
No, it just feels really soothing.
Nice.
Very cool.
Nice. You should see how her chest is pinked up from where I beat on her chest. Poor thing. Okay, now I'm going to grab a little bit of Isocell Recovery Solution. So take a deep breath in through your nose and then breathe out. There we go. Get that skin really nice and wet. Now I'm going to turn on my device. I'm going to choose Rejuve, and I'm going to leave it on level 1. I'm going to hit run. So now it's going. And I'm going to use the lift. My lift is attached to my device, and I like to use the lift at times because it's just it's so simple to use. It's just one simple probe, not two different probes. And what I'm doing is just gently flowing this over the skin. I can see by my conductivity bars that I have enough wetness, so I'm doing a really nice conduction for her. Does it feel prickly or stingly?
No.
No. Good.
I love my Alma.
Yeah. Her skin. Okay, let's put some moisturizing. Go ahead and breathe in and breathe out. I'm adding moisturizing mist. This girl's skin is drinking up any moisture that we put on it. So now, let's get in here. Now, when you use the lift, you don't, oops, sorry. It's so hard to talk and do this at the same time. You don't have to have all of these little prongs touching the skin at the same time. You just need one from each side. So if I want to, I can just use these two, and that will conduct. Or I can use 4, or I can use the back ones. But I don't have to have full contact with all of them. Right now, I'm just using a Rejuve setting just because I want to drive in hydration, drive in those good stem cells. I'm watching my conductivity level. Did you feel that?
I did. Yeah.
I saw you jump a little bit. So I could probably turn this down just a little bit. Usually we find with the lift that you can turn down the intensity on it. So I'm going to take her down. We were at 175. I'm going to take her down to 150 or 60. and that'll probably be a little more comfortable. And now I'm going to give her another spritz because we have to stay down. Deep breath in and breathe out. There we go. I have her breathe out because I don't want her to breathe this up into her nose. Not that comfortable.
I will say that I am one of the individuals that have more of a sensitivity to microcurrent.
Okay.
And I actually found that out when I was at my chiropractor.
Okay.
It's not uncomfortable by any means, but I do, I am more sensitive to it. Mm-hmm.
So anytime you feel twitching, or if I see some twitching on her, I'm going to turn it down. And I would advise any of you, if you feel it, turn it down. You don't need it that strong. If you use microcurrent too strong, you're actually expending ATP in the cell. You're losing it. You're spending it. We don't want to feel that jumping of the muscle. We want to be increasing ATP. And to do that, you need to not feel it. We're drying up again. Girl. Okay, so we've given you all an example of how that works. Now, normally, after you do your microneedling, you do your microcurrent with your hyaluronic acid and with a lot of moisture, isocell or moisturizing mist. You want to keep that skin really nice and moist so you keep that conductivity going. Now, I want to let her skin rest for 2 hours. You don't want to put anything else on this skin while it's all wide open like this. After 2 hours, you can come in and put on, if you're using AnteAge, you can definitely come in and use serum number 1, the AnteAge serum, and then you can use accelerator. Serum just is a powerful stem cell serum. The accelerator is things that work well with the serum and help drive that serum in. So it's got vitamin C in it, retinaldehyde in it, and these work synergistically really well. Most people who use the AnteAge system, they just do a pump of each of these in the morning and a pump of each of these at night. And today we'll be doing a pump of each of these on Lauren, but we're going to wait 2 hours until her skin finishes closing back down and is ready for that. After we do that, we will put on the AnteAge eye cream. It's a really nice light gel eye cream. It does wonderful things. It's wonderful for people who don't like heavy eye creams, but really want to depuff and see a softening of the lines around their eyes. Then after we've put those on, then we're going to put moisturizer on. And my go-to moisturizer, anytime I've abraded the skin or increased inflammation in the skin, turned it nice and pink, is from Hale & Hush, and that's saffron meristem cream. So we'll be putting that on her. If you are acne prone, what you would use is Neogenesis Barrier Renewal Cream. When you put on Barrier Renewal Cream, it will sting just a little bit. It's not hurting the skin. It's just because your skin is open. Generally, though, saffron meristem doesn't give any kind of stingling at all. It's wonderful. It's my go-to anytime you have chapped skin, or if I've done it with my exfoliation, I'm getting a little bit of a peel going on, or any redness or irritation. Saffron meristem is my best friend. In the wintertime, if I go skiing a lot, I'm often chapped around my nose, and it can be so hard to get that to go away. Saffron meristem, that's the ticket to keeping the chapped skin away, especially if you live in a really cold and snowy environment. You will love that product. So in 2 hours, we'll complete our treatment with the AnteAge serum and accelerator. We'll put on her eye gel, then we'll put on the saffron meristem, and then we'll put on her sunscreen. And she'll be good to go. How do you feel?
I feel good.
It feels good?
Yeah.
I know you guys can look, if you can see how glowy your skin is, it looks amazing. And we put so much moisture into her skin. It just feels really nice and plump and hydrated now.
Yes.
Yay. Okay, so I'm going to pop over here to the computer screen. I can see there's a million questions on there. So we'll find the lid for this later.
Somewhere over there.
Here it is. I found it. Put the lid on her solution for her so she can take it home. And then I dropped the lid to the stamp too, and we'll find that and set that up for her as well. Okay, let's get in here now and see our questions. Up to the top. Okay. Let's just scroll right down. In the beginning, we have some comments about starting a little later. We had a text message go out on Central Time instead of Pacific Time, but I'm so glad you guys found us. Yay, Jessica says she's so excited for microneedling. Yay. Jenny says your hair looks great. Thank you, Jenny. I went for the curly girl today. And let's see, Valentina, I have the stamp that came with my hair serum for hair loss. Yes. So microneedling can be, the same stamp can be used on the scalp, and it can be used with the Neogenesis scalp serum. Microneedling can really be done anywhere on the face or the body and the scalp. And the way we said it was so kind of irritating on the forehead, it's even more irritating on the scalp. So you have to be really dedicated to get in there and do it on your scalp, because, you know, there's not much there between, you know, the top of your skin and the bone. So you really feel it when you're up in that area. Here we go. Oh, Muriel said, do you have something for hair? Yes, absolutely. And that is the Neogenesis hair serum, and you use that every day, and you can also microneedle that into the skin. On days when you're not washing your hair, you would just spritz your scalp with moisturizing mist or some water, and then you work the serum into the areas where you're working on it. And then, of course, with the needling, you can do the same thing. You can spritz with moisturizing mist, then put on your hair solution, and then do your needling up there. Okay, Gretchen says, I've always loved your professional tops. I know it's not related to the topic. Can you share where you get them? Yes, for estheticians that like our tops, we get them at...
Celine would know.
I know where I get them. I'll tell you in a few minutes when it comes back to my brain, then I'll tell you. Asmar. Asmar spa uniforms. Try Googling that. ASMAR. They're wonderful. They're very stretchy, comfy. Okay, Kathy says, does the 5-week timing apply to over 60s as well, since our turnover is so slow? Yes, you could still do it, Kathy. I know it does slow down, but you can still do it every 5 weeks. What you're going to want to do is also make sure you're doing an enzyme once a week. So where we did the Regenezyme right before that needling treatment, you're going to also make sure that you're doing this once, especially with a gentle one, once or twice a week. You want to be using an enzyme in your daily routine, because enzymes are what's going to help speed up that skin metabolism. The microcurrent doing the rejuve, that's going to speed up the skin metabolism. Those all can be very helpful. Barbara says, oh no, I can't hear you. The sound is broken up. Oh no, did we have sound issues going on? It might have been your internet, hopefully, Parvin, because I don't see anyone else complaining, but I hope it got better for you. So maybe you can come back later and listen to it when you have a better connection. Chet says, how does the dermis stamp compare to an electric one, like Dr. Pen as an example? Sure. So a lot of the pens, all the pens are different. Many of the pens can be adjusted so that you can drive them deeper or more shallow, 25, sometimes to 1.5 even. You really want to be careful when choosing a needle. I really would stick with the 0.25 or 0.3. I definitely would not go over a 0.5. It's just not needed. It's not necessary. And when you go over that size, I see people getting scarring. And then I have them reaching out to me to help them with the scarring in their face from using needles that were too big. So you don't want to do that. Now with the pen is going like this. And the problem with the pen is that as you glide over the skin with those needles going like that, you're creating lots of ripping and tearing, because as you're moving, you're moving with it going up and down at all times. It would be nice if, it came up, you moved, went down, came up, you move and go down, but it's not. It's going up and down the whole time. So as you're moving and it's going up and down, you're tearing the skin. So it's not an optimal situation. I have, because back in the day, we all bought pens and stuff, and I have a pen at home, but I don't even use it for that reason. You will see a lot more bleeding when you use a pen just because of that, because you're really ripping the skin. And then again, you're going to start seeing scarring and things like that happening. So what is the best microneedling solution for mature skin with glycation? That's when you're going to want to choose. Let me reach over here and get it. Got it. That's when you're going to want to choose AnteAge AnteAging Microneedling Solution. That's the one that you want to choose when you have glycation going on. Okay. What's the depth of these needles? I believe that is a 0.25.
That's correct.
That's correct. Lauren says I'm correct. We're using a 0.25 today. And really, the 0.25 is not so much to do with the depth when we're using a stamp or a roller. It has more to do with the diameter of the little needles. So the 0.25 is a very, very fine needle. And because we're doing a stamping, that it's going to be going at different depths depending on how hard I'm stamping, right? So it's not really so much about depth. It's about that diameter or the size of the needle around. And so when you're using a roller that's a 0.35, or you're using a stamp that's a 0.25, that's all about the diameter of the needle. When you're using an electronic device that does that, like perhaps with that Dr. Pen, that's not so much about the diameter of the needle, because they're not changing the needles out on those. That's more about the depth that it's driving it to. So there's really a difference between those two different kinds of microneedling. So when we are wanting to go after scarring, where it's the kind of scarring we have deep pitting and uneven texture of the skin, that's when they're using a 1. And that's the 1 around. It's not necessarily going to that depth of 1. It's a 1 around. It's creating a bigger around hole. And that's where they're going after that kind of scarring. It's very effective. It's very painful. And you should only have it done by a professional. Don't go online and buy yourself a needle to do that big of needling. You will scar yourself. I promise you. I have clients who've done it, and they will attest to you. Don't do it. So you really want to stick with that smaller diameter. You're going to get perfect, wonderful results. You don't need that fatter diameter. I think I say this every show right now, is more is not always better. It's the same with, with microcurrent. More current is just going to shut your body down so it can't take it in. You want a gentler, lower current. That's better. It's the same with your microneedling. You just don't need that great big gun. A little one does just fine. Okay. Let's see. If we have a MyoLift Mini, which doesn't have the rejuve setting, can we still do microcurrent at this point? Absolutely. Yes, you can still do it. It's going to be a different waveform, but you can still do microcurrent at that point. Gloria, sound is breaking up for me as well. I'm sorry, you guys. I hope we're staying. Yeah, everybody was saying sound was breaking up today, Ben. So our guy up here, is he not connected?
I think it was just an internet issue. It's been
our internet.
On my phone and it sounds okay. So
Okay. Ben still thinks it's internet for you guys, but we will double check and make sure we have everything hooked up correctly. Jenny says she missed the whole thing. She couldn't hear it. So try, Jenny, checking in later. I know it's so nice to have you here live with us, because usually you have to watch the show later when it's not live, but try going back later and watching when it's not live. We will also, in the meantime, we'll test it and make sure that the sound is okay. If it's not good, we will re-record this session again. Lauren might say somebody else can be the patient.
Nah, I'd love to.
Oh, good.
I'll take one for the team.
Ben says he'll take one for the team. Okay, here we have a question. Over 60, should I use the same products? Yes, you can use the exact same products over 60, absolutely. Sarah says, do you prefer and why the AnteAge over the growth factors? So I would never use growth factors in microneedling, and I rarely use them on my face at all. When you take isolated growth factors, they do different things, and a lot of them cause inflammation when you do that. What you want is a whole stem cell. So the growth factors are like little parts pulled off. We want that whole cell, because that is what's going to be more balanced and better for your skin. So I would choose either AnteAge or Neogenesis. Those are the only two things that I would microneedle with. I often microneedle with Neogenesis Recovery Serum. Beautiful, works great. So you either do the Neogenesis Recovery Serum or you do the AnteAge solution. They're using slightly different stem cells. So there's a lot of controversy out there on the internet about which one of those two to choose. But I find in my practice over the last 10 years with both products, I get great results with either one. And I'm not seeing any problems with either of those brands. Sophie says, can I use Dr. Estee Hyaluronic Ampule before using the Tri-Wave? You know, you probably will see in my description, I did list that one because at first I thought that was what I was going to use. And we're going to go through and make an edit to that because as I was prepping today, I took a look at ingredients. And while some people could get away with using the Dr. Estee Ampule, I have it right here with the Hyal in it. This has rose water in it, goat milk in it. It just has a lot of other ingredients that I wasn't sure I wanted to put right into the skin when it was nice and open like that. No, I know a lot of people do. And if you do it and it works great for you, it's okay. I even know people who microneedle and then put Cavapla on their skin. I would never do it, but they do it and they like it. That works for them. That's okay. But for Lauren, for myself, I like to use something just a little simpler. And so I grabbed the Bion's Pure Hydration Hyaluronic Serum because it's more of just straight up hyaluronic acid without any of the other stuff put in there. Let's skip down here. Oh, I've lost my spot. Is microneedling best done at night? I imagine over brows will encourage hair thickening. Yes, absolutely do it over your brows if you want to increase that hair there. And most of us over 50 want more brows, right? So definitely do that. Also use your toners or your corrective serums, like your vitamin C serums and things. Put those right over the brow area. When you're doing enzymes, treat that area under your brows there, because all of those things are going to increase hair growth and cell regeneration in that area. You can microneedle morning or night, doesn't matter. But you've got to keep in mind that 2-hour window. You want to be able to not go outdoors and be exposed to sun during that 2 hours after your treatment before you put on your moisturizer and your sunscreen. So in that case, you know, it may be in that situation, it's probably easier to do it at night. If you're an esthetician doing this in a treatment room, you know you can't always do your microneedling treatments late in the day. You've got to do them all day long. So it's you can do it at any time of day. Just be careful if you're doing it earlier in the day that you're not going out and getting exposed to the sun during that 2-hour window before you're layering on your moisturizers and your sunscreen. Okay, another question I have. Imagine over brows. Yep, got that one. Which were those enzyme products without fragrance? So least fragrance would be Dermizyme. Rhonda Allison's Dermizyme. This one has a little fragrance to it. It's just those natural ingredients, though. It's the pumpkin. It doesn't smell like pumpkin, but it has a sweetish scent because it's got pineapple. That's more what it smells like, the pineapple. So you can smell that pineapple in there. It's got the pineapple, the fig, and the pumpkin and papaya in there. So you can smell those and you can see the color from the pumpkin and papaya, right? If you want really just no scent that you can smell, the Neogenesis enzyme, nothing in there smells, and then Rhonda Allison's Dermazyme. And the Rhonda Allison Dermazyme can be even used all over the eye area. It's so nice and gentle. It's pretty cool stuff. Okay. You're welcome, Chet. Chet says they really appreciate our detailed answers. Thank you so much, and you're very welcome. I just can't answer questions without just saying everything I know about it. And for some people, it's probably super annoying. But for those of you who are connoisseurs of skincare and want to be your own best advocate for your skin and be your own esthetician, then this information could be really helpful for you guys. Let's see. Oh, great. Somebody's saying here, Sarah says the sounds were perfect on her end. So I'm hoping that's the case and that you guys who had sound problems to come back later and rewatch and you'll be able to hear. Melanie says, why this needle system versus Dr. Penn or Gin Amber? I think we've pretty much covered that when you're using Dr. Penn, if you're using a device that's mechanical, you're going to have more ripping and tearing. When you're using a roller, you can have more ripping. It's also not as comfortable. It's really irritating. And I just find the stamp, especially for beginners, but it gets great results. But if you're a beginner, it feels the best. I just like the feeling of the stamp. And because you're just going directly down into the skin, you're not getting that movement of ripping and tearing the skin. Never buy needles off Amazon or Alibaba. I have had clients who used rollers from there where the needles broke off in the skin. Then you're trying to get it out. So just be careful that you're really buying from a reputable place. The AnteAge needle systems are fantastic. Our MCT roller, that is the best roller on the market. The needles on that thing are amazing. And that's what I would stick with, just because that's what I've been using for 15 years. I know they're good. Okay, Kimmy, what can I use on my skin? I've just been informed that my body is depleted of progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen. Kimmy, you need Emapel. So reach out to live chat. Lauren's right here right now. So you won't be able to talk to Lauren until later this afternoon. So reach out a little later. And what you want to use is Emapel serum during the day and Emapel night cream at night. And then there's also an Emapel eye cream. And those products are really going to be helpful for you. Oh, and Kimmy says she's getting microneedling tomorrow with PRP. So go ahead and give it a try. There's lots of controversy around it. Some people say the PRP causes too much inflammation. Honestly, because I personally have not had microneedling PRP, I don't feel like I can give you a good review of that. And my husband had it done for his tennis elbow, and it didn't help, but man, it was painful and it was really swollen afterwards. Anything that causes a lot of swelling afterward is not good in the long run, because it increases that aging. It's increasing inflammation and it's going to have that rebound effect. So a lot of times you go for a laser treatment or any kind of treatment that causes a lot of swelling of the skin. At first, it seems really great. Sometimes it can look great for 6 months after, and then all of a sudden you get a rebound effect because the skin has stopped trying to do the healing and it's so spent and devitalized that it starts to just look haggard, worn out. So I am always of the opinion that less is more. So I would err on the side of not doing PRP. But, try it once, see what it does for you, gauge for yourself. How much inflammation do you get with that? And definitely when you go home, you want to make sure that you get either the home microneedling solution or get Neogenesis recovery serum. To be frank, I would probably get Neogenesis recovery serum. You can also get it in a spray bottle and just spray that on your skin. You're going to need a lot of that. Sarah says, have hyaluronic acid that includes arginine. So that's an example that should not be microneedled in, right? Give it a try. I mean, arginine, right? It is in a lot of hyaluronic serums because it's a good anti-aging benefit to it. But if you do a pretty aggressive microneedling treatment like the ones I do on myself, I wouldn't want to put that on after that. I would want to use one that's just as plain hyaluronic serum as I can get. But if that's the only other ingredient, you're probably going to be okay, and you could give it a try. Sophie, can you put Neogenesis Berry Renewal Cream right after if I could speak, right after microneedling with the NG Recovery and Mist? No, you should still wait 2 hours after microneedling. We haven't had it say that on our website because normally people who go on the website and they're doing the microneedling, they're not doing it to the depth that we're doing it till where you're maybe seeing a little blood spots or you're getting really pink and you've really opened the skin up. And if you don't do it, if you do a light microneedling treatment, you can put on your moisturizer sooner. But if you do a nice aggressive treatment that's really going to stimulate that collagen, you want to wait 2 hours before you put on the Berry Renewal Cream. Yes, you could spritz with the moisturizing mist. That'll be fine. So if you're waiting your 2 hours and the skin's starting to feel dry, go ahead and mist with the Neogenesis moisturizing mist. You will be fine doing that. Okay. Why you no longer sell the Mitama? I shouldn't even read that question. I hate to go there. It's just a device that I decided just wasn't right for me and my practice. I felt that it was too expensive and I didn't feel comfortable with it. So I don't carry that device anymore. Valentina wants to know, what microneedle did you say is your favorite? So my favorites are either the stamp from AnteAge or the MTS Clinical Resolutions. Is that MTS? Mm-hmm. Ben can look. Yeah, it is. MTS Clinical Resolutions on our website. You can see it there. That is the gold standard for microneedling. Melissa, I came in late, so you may have covered this. I'm wondering if should I pause retinol for a few days prior to microneedling? Can't wait to watch the beginning. Yes. Anytime you're going to be doing a microdermabrasion treatment or a microneedling treatment, anything where you're going to be abrading the skin at all, you want to take a break from your retinol. Depending on the strength of the retinol, you want to go longer. So for Lauren, she went 5 days before this treatment without her retinol. Some people could just do 2 or 3 days and be fine with that. You also want to wait a few days before using your retinol again after doing a dermabrasion or doing a microneedling. Give your skin 2 or 3 days to rest, then start back on your routine. Now, I often stimulate a light peel when I do my microneedling, and sometimes when I do our dermabrasion. I don't normally stimulate a peel with a dermabrasion, but if I do it while I'm talking to you guys, I've discovered that I'm not careful and I overdo it, and I'll stimulate a little peel that'll last for 2 or 3 or 4 days afterwards. So if you do that, it's okay to stimulate a little peel. You'll be really happy in 10 days. Your skin will be amazing, but baby it during that time. Put lots of extra moisture on. Use your saffron meristem cream. Use your recovery serum. Use AnteAge's serum rather than accelerator. Just use the serum. You want to use things that are just nourishing, none of your harsher treatment things. You want to avoid the retinol, avoid those acids until all signs of peeling have completely subsided. Okay. I think we did it. Oh my goodness. Oh no, there's one more. Here we go. A recovery and AnteAge topical serums are targeting the same is what I understand. Yes, they are both going after the same thing. They're seeking the same goals. So it's a matter of personal opinion and personal trial and error to see which one you like best. I have people in both camps. I have those staunch AnteAge people who just love that serum and love using the accelerator with it. And then I have those others that just love their neogenesis recovery, and they're on that. They are both excellent products, and you'll get great results with either one. So you can experiment, try. Right now, AnteAge, everything in AnteAge is double points today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So maybe try the AnteAge one this time. If you haven't tried it before, see how your skin does with it. My mother-in-law loves the AnteAge system. It works great for her. So try it this time. When you use up those bottles, then try a bottle of the recovery serum and see how you like that. And really, watch how your skin reacts and what your skin likes best. We were talking earlier today, Lauren and I, about rosacea, and we have kind of 3 different distinct protocols that we use with clients with rosacea, maybe 4. And you never know which one's going to work right. You just kind of trial and error. You try this protocol, and if that flares it up or doesn't work, then you switch to the other one. And that some people do best on plan B and some people do best on plan A. Nobody's skin is the same. And sometimes it just takes a little trial and error to find the one that your skin likes best and what makes your skin feel happiest. Okay. All right. Here we go. I thought that some dermatologists advise against needling the nose as the skin's a little different and can sometimes scar or heal funny. That's right. But we're just using a 0.25. So no, we're not going to damage the nose area or hurt it at all. I've even had people who have had cancer removed and then had a skin graft put over that area. And once it's fully healed, we do some light needling on that with the stamp. But it's a 0.25. It's very fine, and we're very gentle when we're doing it. It really helps to get rid of that line of demarcation around the skin graft on the nose and stuff. So you can do the nose area. You've just got to be very careful. And I'm sure those dermatologists are reacting to those people that come to them who've used a 0.5 or used a 1 and done that on their nose, and now they've got permanent holes and scarring going on there. So really, I want you guys to be able to do treatments at home. And that's why I created this channel, because so many people were hearing about things and trying things, but buying things on Alibaba or buying things on the internet somewhere. People will go out and buy glycolic acid, or they'll go out and buy TCA and put it on their skin and really damage their skin. And so I created this channel so that I can educate you guys on what I use in my treatment room to get great results, and what you can do at home and get great results without buying the stuff that's too strong, too big, too damaging. So that's that. Jenny again, I'm back on. What happens if I use retinol the night after Dermadisc? Oh, well, nothing particularly. You might be fine to do it. I think I've done it before when my skin was thicker and needed more exfoliation. You might, if you've got tougher skin, a lot of texture you're working on, you'll probably be fine. Once you've been doing your Dermadisc for several months and you're starting to see that rough texture going away, you've been using your retinol too, and you're seeing your skin just getting nice and translucent and glowy, thinning in a nice way, getting plump, but that top layer of skin being shed off of there, then you can overdo it. Right. So what happened with me the other day, I did my Dermadisc and I'd been doing it a lot, and I was just talking away to you guys as I'm going, and I overdid it. When you overdo it, that's when you're going to stimulate a peel. And so sometimes if you do a Dermadisc and then put your retinol on afterwards, you're going to get a retinol peel. And that actually is not a bad thing. We go in and we pay money. I have clients that come in and pay money to have a retinol peel, and that'll be okay. But you've got to treat it very carefully. If you start to peel, you've got to stop using the retinol, and you've got to use your recovery serum, and you've got to put saffron meristem on top of it and really baby that skin barrier and that new baby skin that's going to be emerging from that. You want to really baby it. Don't pick at it if you get any peels. Just let them come off naturally and let that new baby skin just come up nice and plump and juicy and beautiful. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to do your retinol after your dermabrasion. It's just to be aware and take care of your skin if you stimulate a peel. Hopefully that's helpful. Kimmy again, how quickly after microneedling session can I use my recovery serum? Immediately. You can use recovery serum while you're microneedling. You can do it immediately after your microneedling. You can do recovery serum throughout the process, after the process, at any time. It's great. Many people use recovery serum as their microneedling solution. So you could choose. You could use this solution or you could use your recovery serum. Either one of those are excellent mediums for microneedling into the skin. Okay? All right. I think we did it. Yay! I don't think Lauren has not talked. I feel bad. Lauren loves to talk. She has wonderful advice to give everybody.
I wanted to jump in so many times.
She's just had to lay here. So is there something eating you that you want to say before we get off today?
No, this was fabulous.
Yes. Yeah, her skin still looks really, really wonderful. I love it. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day, and we will see you all next week.